G'day and welcome to the show, Tamatha Paul. Kia ora.
Toda, how's it going?
Yeah, it's good actually. We live streamed for 2.5 hours right through the Hikoi. So even though we're in Dunedin, we were finding different streams around the place and showing them. So it was great. It's really, really good. Really interesting to watch. And I noticed you got a chance to get up there and have a bit of a chin wag. But first of all, tell us the vibe. Tell us the day. What have you been going through today?
It's been a massive day. I guess I'm still processing everything that's happened today, but mostly just a real sense of pride in Welly because I feel we did a really, really good job at receiving the nation today. And so the vibe on the ground is real good, actually, real positive. I think there was a real chance. There was a real chance that things could have gone kind of either way, and I'm really proud that I guess people had their head held high and
Yeah.
just really respected the wishes of mana whenua and kept it peaceful and just I'm just proud. I feel really proud.
There was some conversation between, because obviously when you're looking at someone's live stream on TikTok, you get their conversation. There was some conversation at one stage when a bunch of fireworks went off when they said, the rednecks. Was there any kind of incursion and any kind of troublemakers there trying to stir the pot?
Not that I saw. Hard to know though because the Hikoi just went on for ages, and
Yeah.
so, but not that I saw. I mean, it was definitely a thought that there would be some potentially some kind of counter
Yeah.
stuff going on, but actually everything I saw was really positive and which is mean. But
Is there
none of that disruption today, which is I think really good.
is there like an official count yet? Because we've heard everything from 19,000 to 100,000 to 200,000. Do we actually have an accurate, like the Wellington City Council will be the ones that normally would count this kind of thing. You got any ideas at all?
No, I don't have any idea. I haven't even been able to look at the news today. It's been flat out, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
All I know is that I looked all around me and there were just people everywhere. Like every
Massive.
single street was packed. So I don't know. I won't guess because my count will probably be way off, but it was huge.
Yeah. Huge. That's the official
Huge.
answer. How many? Huge. It was
Yeah.
huge. Tell us how you started your day. So we're getting you at about 4 in the afternoon. How did you start your day right through to when you spoke at the Hikoi?
Well, I woke up at 4:30 a.m. because I had some of my best mates drove all the way down from Tamaki. So started off the day really early, um, and then it was just all go from there. So basically, got down to Waitangi Park this morning as quickly as possible, and then was down. We left at 7:30. Everything kicked off at around 9. Um, just talking to people, seeing the mood that people were in, enjoying the music. They had a show on at Waitangi Park, just trying to coordinate, kind of get our stuff all together, and then we just joined the Hikoi, and then that was good. That was awesome, and then what happened after that? It's a little bit still a bit of a blur. Did my kōrero at Parliament, at the activation at Parliament, and then went straight into the house where I asked the Prime Minister why he didn't front the tens of thousands of people outside, potentially hundreds of thousands of people outside. And as usual, basic lines were given, no surprises there. And then here we are. Here we are now.
We saw David Seymour stick his oily little head out for a minute as Rawiri was speaking and then got shuffled back inside with people kind of telling him he wasn't welcome. Do you think the Prime Minister would have been welcome out there to say something, or at least just to see and be a part of it?
I think any MP that wanted to come in front of that crowd could have done so. And I know that because I did that, and like it wouldn't have been unsafe for anybody because again the wairua of the crowd was very peaceful,
Yeah.
and people are angry, and rightfully so, but also I feel people's heads were held high in that respect, and I don't think there was at all an energy that anyone would want to undermine the legitimacy of today. And so I think people were really aware of that, and so any MP could have come out, and any minister could have come out and been accountable to the decisions that they have made over and over again, because it's not just a stupid bill, it's a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
um and and a lot of them didn't, because they're gutless.
It does seem interesting as well. I've been looking around at photos and stuff today. There was some imagery of some police painting signs yesterday with obviously people who were going to protest. And there seems to be a criticism from some sector of society. Ironically, the same sector that's always calling for unity and community are now saying, why were the police helping the protesters paint signs? That's the vibe I got from watching from, 1,000 Ks away. Sort of, the police were there, but they were there just in case, and they kind of weren't needed in the end. And everyone was not happy because of the seriousness of the issue, but were peaceful in their complaint. Would that be fair?
Oh yeah, everyone was just, yeah. There was, I didn't feel any sense of animosity. Like, I didn't get the sense that there, like, tensions were running high or anything like that. Like, which I'm sure proponents of this bill would have loved to see. But unfortunately, it's really, it was just impossible to get that animosity today, because you looked at the crowd, and it wasn't just Maori. Like, it was Maori, but it was also Pākehā, it was Tauiwi, it was people from all different places around the world, and all different cultures and all different ages. It was like literally kotahitanga in action. So there was no chance that this could have been disrupted, because it was organized so well,
Yeah.
and people were just constantly reminded that, there's a way to conduct yourself on this whenua. We're talking about the mana whenua of this land, Taranaki iwi, who have, their tipuna stood at Parihaka, and were peaceful and world leading in their non-violent approach to resistance. And so the only thing that was right for this protest today, or for this hikoi today, is to carry it in a really peaceful way. So, and I think everyone honoured that today and should be really proud.
You got up and spoke today. Do you want to give us an abridged version of what you had to say? Like, what did you say and why, for people who haven't seen your whole speech?
Oh, it was kind of one of those moments where I just got up and gunned for it.
Riffed?
Yeah, well, try to. I mean, I feel like that was one of those crowds where you just need to get up and speak from the heart. They're not going to really, you can't. And that's why there was kind of really intentional choices made around politicians speaking in the first place, because it's
Yeah.
like, that was not a day to get up on your soapbox and promote your party. Do you know what I mean? That was a day to actually speak to people and show that there is that unity regardless of what political stripes you wear. And so, yeah, that, I mean, I don't even really remember what I said, but basically the key message was, David Seymour does not get to have this claim that he represents all New Zealanders, because actually most New Zealanders are against all this bullshit that he's
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah.
And then to say to our, like, to Māori in particular, I wanted to make the point that this is not a Māori issue. This is a issue that impacts us all. And I'm not going to buy into this whole poor Māori, like, we are like this kind of victimization narrative, when actually our people are strong and resilient, and we've been through much worse than this. This is simply a blip in our history. A blip, an insignificant blip in our history, like, in terms of the bill, and we've withstood far worse than that
Mm.
in our history. And so we're not gonna let this little man come in here and think he can overrule that.
Everyone's saying the world is watching. Do you agree that the world is watching? And why are the world watching?
Yeah, the world is watching. The world is watching. I think. Well, there's no doubting that that's because of the haka and Hana and her bravery and her leadership. And I think there's kind of a bit of a story here where, New Zealand as a country has always been like we've always punched above our weight, right? Like we've never been afraid to take unpopular stands on the international stage,
Hmm.
whether that's standing against apartheid, giving women the vote, all the different things that we are so proud of, and then standing against nuclear power and all that kind of stuff. We're not afraid to say the necessary thing and do the necessary thing. So I think the reason that maybe the world is watching is we've told other countries around the world what they should do, and
Hmm.
we've kind of taken that moral high ground and many times. And so now the world is looking back at us saying, is this really how you're going to treat your indigenous people and the
Mm.
relationship that you have with them?
Mm.
um, and I think what an opportunity to rise, what an occasion to rise to, because I think together we'll be able to be like, yes, we can rise to that occasion. No, we don't want to treat indigenous people like shit, and actually we're better than this, and this bill doesn't represent who we are, but that moment with that haka that has captivated the world is a show of who we are.
I guess the remaining question is massive day, massive outpouring, massive activation, but where to from here?
Where to from here? I mean, this is just the beginning. We've got to keep this momentum because we know that there are lots of things in this infamous coalition agreement that we're going to have to mobilize against. Because it's not just ACT and their silly ideas, it's also New Zealand First and their attempts to erase references to Te Tiriti across our legislation. It's the fast track bill that attempts to override the mana of iwi and hapu. It's the boot camps and throwing our rangatahi into those boot camps. It's almost an endless assault on all of us. And so I think this today is a good kind of almost warning to this government. Don't awaken something that you can't control, and quit while you're ahead.
It's funny because I think many would say they already have awoken something they can't control, so it's already there.
And I love it. I love it.
Hey, Tamatha, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Pat.